Hey guys, hopefully my connection is okay. It's already trying to reconnect once. I'm gonna wait until at least somebody hops on and then I'll go ahead and get started. I don't want to waste anybody's time. If nobody hops on here in the next second or so, I'll just go ahead and get started. All right, somebody's here. So when you hop on, say hi. Hey, Becky. Today we are talking about mindset around meal prep, which is super important, I think, around meal planning and prepping. I think you need to be in a certain mindset, in a certain place where you're willing to do the work, really, and you know why you're doing the work. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about when to prep. I'm going to tell you when I prep, and that's probably going to work differently for everyone. Everyone has different schedules, different jobs, different lives, right? So what works for me may or may not work for you, but certainly you can take anything that I'm doing and make it work better for you. And then the last thing we're going to talk about today is how to break prep up, some strategies to do that. Hey, Caroline. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. So talking about mindset around meal planning and meal prepping, I think it's really important that you think about why you want to do this. Now, obviously you're all here, so you're interested in what it is and how to do it. And that's awesome and super important. And I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're trusting me and my expertise to sort of guide you. But at the same time, you have to want to do this for you, and you need to figure out why it is that you want to do it. So, you know, do you want a meal plan and do you want a meal prep because you want to save money? Do you want to plan and prep because you just struggle with following a plan, right? Do you want to plan and prep for weight loss? Is there a particular program that you're following? Do you want to plan and prep to save time throughout the week? The simplicity of it all, right? What is the reason why you want to do this? And it's important that you know what that is, because planning and prepping is a commitment. It's not easy. I mean, I don't want to scare you away, but I also don't want to let you believe that, you know, it's just super simple and, you know, you just throw some things in a pan and go on with your life. I mean, at this point, after 3 years of planning and prepping, yes, it's easy for me because it's a habit that I've created, but at the start it was not easy, and it was hard, and it was confusing, and it took time, and sometimes it was a fail, right? And so it's important that you know why you want to do this so that you can stick to it and that you can learn from your mistakes and keep going and getting better at it. But you're not going to stick to it if it's just like, well, I'm going to plan and prep because that's what all the cool kids are doing. Well, that's not a good enough reason to be doing this, right? So you have to have a clear why. So whatever that is for you, you guys can share that in the comments if you'd like to. I would love to read those. So what's going to keep you on this meal plan and meal prepping journey is that why, right? For us, it was saving money when we first started. We got tired of throwing money away every single week. We were throwing away old salad and old fruit and old cheese and old lunch meat that we just weren't eating because we were buying too much, or we were buying food that we just didn't eat, right? And so for Michael and I, we started planning and prepping long before I even started coaching, because we started couponing. So we were planning things, we were only buying what we needed, and it was a game for us. We wanted to see how little we could spend and how much we could get. We were those people that got home from the grocery store and stacked all of our food on the table and took pictures of it and told everybody how much it cost, right? That was us. And it was a game for us, and it's still sort of a game for us. We really enjoy seeing how little we can spend and how much food we can get as a family of 4. So what keeps us on that path now, before it was saving money, now it's, you know, following our food plan, reaching our health and fitness goals. And, you know, for us, that's what keeps us on track. That's what keeps us eating the foods that we've prepped, aside from the fact that we just don't have other food, because we don't buy other food, right? There are no other options. We're either eating the food that we prepped and or planned for, or we're eating out. And we've committed to not doing that, right? So it's important that you know your why, that you keep coming back to it so that it helps you stay on your plan. I do want to say, like I've already said once tonight, it's not always fun. It's not always easy. I don't want to spend every weekend meal planning and meal prepping. It's not glorious, right? It's not something that I necessarily look forward to. But what I do look forward to is not having to do any of that shit throughout the week, right? I very much look forward to not having to think about what I'm having for breakfast, for snacks, and for lunch every single morning. I very much enjoy packing my big lunch luggage in 3 seconds because I literally just pull stuff out of the refrigerator and throw it in my bag, zip it up, and call it a day. The only thing I make in the morning is my shake. That takes, 45 seconds tops. And then I'm out the door, right? I'm not having to figure out what is left over in the refrigerator. Is it, portioned out for me? And what is their food? We used to live on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because that's what we made for lunch. So now, right, because we plan and we prep on the weekend, all week is easy peasy. I come in the door. Tonight, it took me 15 minutes to make dinner. That's it. I walked in the door, I looked on our menu, I knew exactly what we were having. I pulled it out of the refrigerator. It was super simple. We had tacos tonight, steak tacos. I browned up the steak, I browned up the onions, I warmed tortillas. We had vegetables and a little sour cream on there. If you follow me on Instagram, inner_badass, you will see all of that on my Instagram stories. It took 15 minutes for me to make dinner for a family of 4, right? I made tacos for Michael and I made a quesadilla for the kids to share, and they also had cucumbers and strawberries. Cucumbers that were already cut because I prepped them this weekend, strawberries that were already washed and cut because I prepped them this weekend. Took no time at all because I did the work ahead of time, right? So you can do this too if you stick to the plan, if you plan ahead of time. So that's the whole mindset, right, around planning and prep. It's going to take time. It's not always going to be something that you want to do, but I promise you that it's worth it in the end, okay? Keep dropping those questions. I see you guys saying hi and doing all that stuff. I'm going to come to it at the end. I do have my notes here, so I make sure I cover everything. I'm super glad you guys are here. Let me grab some water, actually. Okay, so moving on to number 2, when to prep. So what works for me, again, may or may not work for you, but I would say if you work a regular 9 to 5 or whatever, Monday through Friday job, probably what will work best for you is to plan and or prep on Sundays so that you can prep your meals for the entire week. Some of you will not want to prep for 7 full days, and that's fine. I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. But that is what we do. So typically speaking, I would say if we have a really humdrum Friday night and or Saturday at any point, Saturday night, whatever. And by humdrum, I mean we're just hanging out at home, not particularly doing anything, whatever. One of us, Michael or myself, will sit down and start to plan. Now, currently, right now, we are on 2 separate meal plans. So his meal plan is very different than mine because it is way more food. When we were not on 2 separate meal plans, right, we were just eating exactly the same things. So it was super simple. One of us would plan, the other one didn't have to do anything, or we would plan together. So I would say now it takes us maybe 25 minutes to plan for our whole week. We also use the ads when we're planning, and I'm going to talk about that later on this week. We shop the sales. So we not only plan our whole week, but we also plan our week based on what's on sale at stores. We typically go to 2 stores, maybe 3, throughout the week. Sometimes only 1. This last week, we only went to Sprouts. So definitely you may want to start thinking about what stores you have in your area. Try to get your hands on their ads. Ours come in a mailer, a weekly mailer that we get. You can get them obviously in your local newspaper. You can just go online and look at them. You don't have to get a ad in the mail or whatever. You don't have to get your hands on it. You can look at it online. But we sit down on Friday night or Saturday and we start planning, okay? And we always start with the easiest stuff first. We know we're going to have our Shakeology at some point during the day, so that's the first thing. What's going to go in it? Michael's able to make his with a banana. I am not. I have to make mine with spinach, whatever. So as we're planning, right, and as we're putting our stuff on our meal plan, I'm also making a grocery list at the same time. Starting with Shakeology, I already know that's coming in the mail, right? But I need my spinach. So I write on my grocery list, spinach. I know I'm gonna need milk, right? So I write milk because those two things go on my, or in my shake. Michael needs almond milk, so that goes on the list. And as we're planning Monday through Friday, as I'm coming up with these meals, I'm creating my grocery list. So they're not two separate things for me. As I plan the meal, I also write what we need on the grocery list. If I'm super lazy and I don't want to get up and like look in the cabinets or whatever, I'll just write it on my list. And then later on when I want to get off my butt, I'll just cross it off if we already have it, right? So that's one of the strategies. Now, we plan on Friday or Saturday. We go to the grocery store every Sunday morning, and then we prep on Sundays. Now, that's what works best for us. Maybe that doesn't work best for you. Maybe you prep on like a Wednesday because you work, a different schedule, not a 9 to 5. Maybe Wednesdays and Thursdays are your day off. So maybe you plan on Wednesdays and you grocery shop and prep on Thursdays. I don't know, right? So you have to do what works best for you. There's also ways that you can break it up. So instead of doing everything on Sunday, which is absolutely what we do 99% of the time, you could break it up. So ways to break it up, right? This is point number 3. You can make a few days worth of things, right? So let's say on Sunday, you don't want to prep for 7 days. You're just going to prep Monday through Thursday, right? So you're not making Friday, Saturday, and Sunday meals. You're just making Monday through Thursday. That's going to save you a little bit of time. It's obviously less meals. Maybe you're going to make something different for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, even just to break it up because you don't want to eat the same things over and over again. Not that you have to eat the same things over and over again on Monday through Thursday. We are creatures of habit. We eat the same things over and over again because it just makes it easier. But if you want to make it more difficult and, mix things up and switch things up, you totally can. And we're going to talk about that also in a second. You can break things up by prepping only snacks and one meal, right? So let's say you're going to prep your snacks and your breakfast for the entire week. You prep all of that on Sunday, but you still need lunches, right? And you're still going to make dinners fresh. The best way to mix that up and to break it up is to double your dinner meal, right? So on Monday night, or even on Sunday, it's better if you do it on Sunday. On Sunday night, whatever you make for dinner, double that recipe so that you can eat it on Sunday and then you can have leftovers for Monday. On Monday night, double that recipe so that you can eat it on Monday and then have leftovers on Tuesday, right? So you're not having to prep those lunches. You just eat your leftovers from the night before. Now, maybe you don't want to eat the same meal twice in a row, right? You don't want to have it for dinner and then have it again for lunch. Another way that you can break that up is to just make a crock pot meal on the weekend. A crock pot meal that is for the week to be used to be spread out throughout the week. So you don't have to have dinner and then the same leftovers again the next day. So let's say you make chili on the weekend. And then for dinner on Monday, you have spaghetti. And there's leftovers, but you don't want to have spaghetti on Tuesday for lunch, so you have some chili. And then you have whatever you made on Tuesday for dinner. And then maybe you have that leftover spaghetti on Wednesday so that you're switching it up and you're not eating the same foods over and over again. Now, again, if you're a creature of habit like I am and you're fine with eating the same food over and over again, just make the same damn thing for lunch all week. I just prefer it that way. It's simple for me. It doesn't bother me. I'm the type of person that goes to a restaurant and orders the same food no matter how many times I go there, what meal it is or not. Like I grew up ordering cheeseburgers and french fries at breakfast places because that's what I liked. I don't do that anymore. I've grown up a little bit, smidge. But so again, if you're a creature of habit and you can do the same meal over and over again, do it because it's going to make your life a lot easier, right? If you're not and you can't do that, you like the variety, then that's one of the ways that you can mix it up. Make that crock pot meal on the weekend so that you have leftovers that you can use throughout the week. Double your dinner recipe, and you may not even have to double it. Some recipes just make a literal crap ton, right? And so you can tell by the recipe, when you look at it, it'll tell you how many servings it makes, right? Some things make like 8 servings. Well, unless you have 8 people in your family, it's gonna have leftovers, right? So you may not have to double it. So definitely look at the recipe before you do that. If you don't follow recipes, right, you're just doing like a protein and a veggie and a carb, random stuff, right? Then just make twice the amount of whatever you're going to use, and then you can have that for leftovers some other time during the week, okay? Let's see. Doubles, crock pot meals. I think that might be it for what I wanted to talk about today. So the only thing that I do want to say about breaking it up, right? If you choose to say on Sunday, only make enough meals to go to like Wednesday or Thursday, yes, it's saving you time on Sunday, but then you're going to have to spend some more time on Thursday, right? And so one of the ways that you can do that as well is to make a crock pot meal on Thursday. So you're not actively cooking anything. And while dinner is cooking in that crock pot, you can be prepping your meals for the rest or the remainder of the week. And maybe it's that leftovers from that crock pot meal. Maybe it's leftovers from dinners for the week, right? However you want to do it, you just split it up that way, okay? So let me come down to your guys' questions. I'm looking at them on my computer, so that's why I'm looking down. Let's see here. Let me turn the volume down. Amanda likes leftovers, so this is helpful. Oh, good, I'm glad. You know, I'm actually going to say something about that. I grew up absolutely not eating a leftover, like absolutely not. There were 2 leftovers, 3 leftovers I would ever eat in my whole life. Macaroni and cheese, straight out the box, Kraft for life, right? That I would eat leftover. I actually prefer it leftover. Pizza, leftover, not cold. I don't like cold pizza. I know, I'm weird. And then spaghetti. Those are the 3 things that I would ever eat leftover. Basically, if it had meat, like I was not, no. And so the fact that I can prep and eat the same things over and over again, and they're basically leftovers, right? But in my mind, in my mindset, they're not leftovers because I cook them or prep them on Sunday to be consumed later on during the week. I didn't cook it. It was leftover and I just put it in a Tupperware and now I'm reheating it and eating it, right? In my mindset, I prepared that food to be reheated on a different day to be consumed. Now, I'll also say this week, I'm not eating anything that's heated at all. So my meals this week, I'm having 2 boiled eggs and some strawberries in the morning. That's my first meal. My second meal is cottage cheese with tomatoes, a tortilla, and some sunflower seeds. I know, super freaking random, but it is what it is. My third meal of the day is a spinach salad with blueberries, feta cheese, and the dressing is like olive oil, balsamic vinegar, and lemon juice. So bomb. If you have never had that salad, please try it. So those are the 3 meals that I prepped over the weekend, and nothing was cooked. Fun tip on meal prep. The less you cook, the less time it takes. I prepped all of those things, portioned them out, washed them, cut them, did all the things in less than an hour. Actually, maybe it was a few more minutes, over an hour. That's it. And none of it was cooked. None of it was reheated, none of that. So if you don't like leftovers and you don't like food that's heated up, you don't have to eat food that's heated up, right? Totally your choice. All right, let's see. Leftovers are Candace's favorite. Great. Hey, April. Hey, Lindsay. Is this all? You guys just said hi? There are no questions? Let me refresh. If you guys have questions, drop them there. If you don't have questions, that's totally fine. You don't have to have questions. All right, I'm not seeing any questions. I'm going to let you guys go. If you don't have any, I'm going to keep it short. Sweet. Simple. So tomorrow, let's see what we have ahead tomorrow. Well, definitely we have a big announcement, or I have a big announcement, so make sure you're here tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm telling you how I create my meal plan. I'm going to walk you all the way through it, okay? So tomorrow's probably going to be a longer night, so if you can be here live, I would assume that tomorrow you'll have a lot of questions as I'm walking you through this. So maybe bring some pen and a paper. You may want to take notes. You may want to create sort of a mock meal plan with me. But I'm going to walk you exactly through how I sit down and I write things out and I figure out what we need, how much of everything we need, and all of that. And then again, I do have a big announcement tomorrow, so make sure you are here for that. Is that going to talk about splitting the containers throughout the day? Yeah, Candace. I mean, I'm going to show you how I do my meal plan, and I do use the portion containers, so I will obviously be talking about that, as that's how I use, or how I create my meal plan. So yes, Candace, I will be talking about how I split my containers throughout the day. If there are no other questions, I'm going to let you guys go. This is a quick one. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Big announcement. Don't forget to hop on. For those of you that are hopping on here a little bit later, if you have questions, you can always drop them in the comments. I can't promise that I'll come back and be able to answer them, but you certainly can drop them and I will do my best to get on here. It's always better if you're on here live so that I can just answer your questions as we're here. I hope you guys have a great night and I will see you soon. Bye.